Welcome to today's deep dive. We are really thrilled you are here with us.
Yeah, so glad to have you joining us.
Today, we are going on a journey into this massively detailed resource we received from Crystals by Rob. And our mission is to unpack basically everything there is to know about a visually stunning and highly specific stone.
The white-banded opal.
Exactly, the white-banded opal.
Right.
We're going to explore how this specific stone serves as a masterclass in gentle, layered, emotional, and spiritual integration. So, if you've ever felt like you needed a shortcut to grounding yourself in an increasingly chaotic world.
Which is, let's be honest, all of us right now.
Right. This is exactly the deep dive for you.
Because the source material we are looking at today from Crystals by Rob is incredibly comprehensive. I mean, it breaks down the metaphysical, the emotional, spiritual, and even the energetic healing properties of the white-banded opal.
It's a lot of ground to cover.
It really is. It gives us specific chakra alignments and this highly detailed, honestly complex list of astrological and spiritual associations. It provides a really fascinating lens for looking at how we process the world around us, especially when we feel overwhelmed by too much information or too much emotion all at once.
Okay, let's unpack this. I want you to first picture this stone in your mind.
It's beautiful.
So beautiful. The white-banded opal is luminous. It's made up of these soft, white, cream, and translucent bands, all layered seamlessly on top of each other. It is physically stunning. But the core visual of those bands is the key to understanding everything else we're going to talk about today.
Right, because that physical structure is the central aha moment for anyone working with this stone. Those physical bands perfectly symbolize how the stone is believed to function.
Yeah.
Healing, understanding, spiritual growth, these things rarely happen all at once in some massive dramatic lightning bolt moment.
As much as we might want them to.
Exactly. But they happen gradually. They happen layer by translucent layer. The physical structure of the stone actually acts as a mirror for the user's own internal processing.
So let's take that concept of layered healing and look at the first big area the source covers, which is using this stone as a kind of emotional and energetic first aid.
Mm-hmm.
The text describes the white-banded opal as having this incredible ability to soothe emotional turbulence, anxiety, and stress. It specifically points out that it fosters self-compassion and patience.
Which we all need more of.
Totally. But how does a piece of layered silica actually facilitate that kind of emotional slowdown for someone dealing with, say, a chaotic Monday morning commute or a stressful inbox?
What's fascinating here is the text's emphasis on the pacing of the emotional relief. The source notes that the stone encourages steady emotional growth without forcing rapid change.
Steady growth without forcing it.
Exactly. And that is a vital distinction in a culture that is obsessed with life hacks and quick fixes. When we get a stressful email or we have a tense interaction, our instinct is to want that uncomfortable feeling gone immediately. We try to force the process of moving on.
Right, just push past it.
But the white-banded opal, true to its layered nature, is said to create a safe, energetic space where those feelings can actually be acknowledged, sat with, and understood before they're released. It's incredibly grounding.
For someone who is highly sensitive or who easily absorbs the stress of the people around them, like walking into a tense office environment, having that kind of unhurried holding space seems absolutely essential.
Oh, absolutely. It's a buffer.
And the text goes beyond just the psychological side and talks about energetic harmonization. It mentions that the opal clears stagnant energy within the aura. So for anyone listening who might not be familiar with esoteric terms, when the text refers to the aura in this context, what are we actually talking about?
In these metaphysical frameworks, you can think of the aura as your personal energetic atmosphere, or your energetic bubble, if you want.
Your bubble. Got it.
Have you ever walked into a room right after two people had a massive argument?
Oh, yeah. You can cut the tension with a knife?
Right. You can physically feel that heavy, thick tension in the air.
Yeah.
That is stagnant energy. The white-banded opal is believed to act as a harmonizer for your personal energetic atmosphere, basically sweeping out that heavy residue and restoring coherence so you aren't carrying around other people's stress.
The source also mentions that it anchors higher frequencies safely into the physical body so the user isn't overwhelmed. It's almost like it acts as an energetic surge protector.
A surge protector is the perfect analogy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Think about plugging a massive industrial-grade appliance into a standard living room wall outlet.
It's going to blow a fuse immediately.
Exactly. The system just can't handle that much power all at once. And when people undergo deep self-reflection or sudden emotional breakthroughs, it can actually cause nervous system overwhelm.
That makes a lot of sense.
This stone stabilizes that flow of new awareness. It reinforces your personal boundaries, so you're getting the renewal and the clarity. But at a wattage, your system can actually sustain over the long term.
Which brings us nicely to the spiritual benefits. The text pivots from emotional balancing to spiritual awakening, using words like subtle and steady. It says the stone connects the user to higher guidance while maintaining a grounded awareness.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, true spiritual expansion has to be sustainable.
Meaning?
Having a profound, reality-shattering insight during a weekend meditation retreat means very little if you can't ground an insight into how you treat your family on a stressful Tuesday evening.
That is such a good point, the Tuesday evening test.
Yes. The white-banded opal ensures that sustainability by fostering gradual alignment. It helps you take profound concepts and integrate them into your daily actions and decisions without blowing that energetic fuse we just talked about.
And the source breaks down exactly how it achieves this grounding by detailing 3 specific chakras that the white-banded opal aligns with. Let's demystify that a bit. When the text talks about chakras, we're essentially talking about junction boxes of energy in the body.
Precisely. You can visualize them as specific centers where physical, emotional, and spiritual energies intersect. The source highlights that this stone works with 3 of these centers to create a complete circuit of understanding.
Okay, so it starts by resonating strongly with the crown chakra, which is located at the top of the head. The text links this center to the enhancement of spiritual clarity, intuition, and a connection to higher consciousness.
By opening that crown junction box, the stone allows high-level spiritual insight to come through. But, and this is key, if it only worked with the crown, you might feel spacey or disconnected from reality.
Unmoored.
Exactly, you'd be floating.
Which explains why the text moves next to the third eye chakra, located in the center of the forehead. Here, the stone gently awakens intuitive abilities, but more importantly, it brings in discernment and clarity of perception. It promotes mindful decision-making.
It acts as a filter. The crown pulls in the vast, abstract spiritual concepts, and the third eye translates them into clear perception. It essentially asks, what does this actually mean for my life?
Practical application. And then it subtly aligns with the heart chakra in the center of the chest. This is where the emotional integration happens. It bridges the gap between the high-minded spiritual awareness from the head and the deep emotional reality of the body, promoting deep compassion.
The flow goes from universal insight to mental clarity down into emotional compassion. And because of the stone's stabilizing energy, the source says it supports the gradual harmonization of this entire system.
So no single center is overloaded.
Right. It allows energy to flow evenly through all 3 centers without forcing rapid, uncomfortable activation in any single one.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. The text from Crystals by Rob provides these massive, deeply specific lists of associations for the white-banded opal, depending on which of those 3 chakras you were focusing on.
Oh, the lists are incredibly detailed.
They really are. It is a dense web of cross-cultural, astrological, and spiritual connections. But rather than just reading a spreadsheet of gods and herbs to you, let's look at the patterns here. What shared elements jump out at you across all 3 of these chakras?
The consistency in certain areas is striking. For instance, across the crown, third eye, and heart chakras, the associated animals are always the same: the eagle, the raven, and the spider.
That is a very specific trio. How do those 3 animals represent the layered, steady energy of this stone?
Well, the eagle is universally associated with higher perspective, flying above the chaos to see the big picture, which aligns perfectly with that crown chakra insight.
Right, the 10,000-foot view.
Exactly. Then the raven is often linked to the mysteries of the void, intuition, and deep inner vision, representing the third eye. And the spider is the ultimate symbol of the weaver.
Oh, because of the web.
Yes. The spider builds its web slowly, methodically, layer by layer, which perfectly mirrors the physical bands of the opal itself and its unhurried approach to healing.
The astrological signs remain constant, too, across all 3. Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. Those are all the air signs of the zodiac.
Which makes perfect sense for a stone that facilitates higher thought, clear communication, and the sweeping away of stagnant energy. Air is the element of intellect and breath.
That tracks.
Along those same lines, the elemental spirits linked to the stone are identical across all 3 chakras: the sylphs, the zephyrs, and the fairies of trees, flowers, and winds.
Okay, for someone who hears sylphs and zephyrs and feels like we've drifted into a fantasy novel, what do those actually represent from a practical, metaphorical sense?
Fair question. In these traditions, sylphs and zephyrs are elemental spirits of the air. Metaphorically, think of a zephyr. It's a gentle, clearing breeze. When your mind is cluttered with anxiety or heavy emotions, working with the energy of a zephyr is about inviting a fresh breeze to blow through the room of your mind, scattering the dust and bringing in clarity.
So it's not a hurricane tearing the roof off.
Not at all. It isn't a hurricane. It is a gentle, refreshing breath.
Now, the divergences in the text are just as fascinating as the constants. Depending on which chakra you focus on, the specific deities, planets, and herbs shift dramatically. Let's start with the crown. The text associates it with violet candles, the element of spirit, and Archangel Metatron.
Which is very high vibrational energy.
Extremely. It also mentions herbs like gotu kola and blue lotus and essential oils like rosewood and lavender. But can you walk us through how the planetary associations change between the crown and the third eye and what that actually signifies for the user?
Let's look at that contrast, yeah. When focusing on the crown chakra, the center of spiritual expansion, the text associates the stone with Jupiter and Uranus. Jupiter is the planet of massive expansion, philosophy, and boundlessness.
Big picture stuff.
Huge. And Uranus brings sudden flashes of cosmic insight. It is a very elevated, boundless, energetic mix.
And a huge roster of deities, too.
Yeah.
The text lists goddesses like Juno and Gaia, and gods spanning different cultures, Buddha, Ahura Mazda, Kuan Yin, and Zeus. It's a very expansive list. But then, when the focus shifts down to the third eye chakra, the planets change entirely.
They do. For the third eye, the text shifts the association to Saturn and Neptune. Neptune maintains that mystical, visionary quality, but Saturn is the planet of restriction, discipline, and boundaries.
Well, why introduce the planet of restriction into a spiritual practice? That feels counterintuitive.
Because intuition without discipline is just daydreaming.
Oh, wow.
Right. By bringing in Saturn at the third eye level, the stone helps ground those boundless Jupiter concepts from the crown into something focused and structured. It helps you actually discern what your intuition is telling you, rather than just floating away on a cloud of expanded consciousness.
And the other third eye associations reflect that slight shift, too. We see indigo candles, goddesses Lua and Salacia, though the same gods as the crown are present. The herbs shift to cinnamon, shankpushpi, cardamom, and passion flower, with patchouli oil.
Shankpushpi is a fascinating inclusion there, as it's traditionally used in Ayurveda to support brain health and mental clarity, which fits the third eye perfectly.
Then the associations for the heart chakra pivot again, grounding the user into a very nurturing space. The candles shift to green. The archangel becomes Raphael, the angel of healing.
And the element drops from spirit down to air.
The planets are Venus and the moon, representing love and emotional tides. The goddesses are Aphrodite and Selene. And the gods shift to figures like Enlil, Keohiva, Muraram, Shu, and Thoth.
Notice how many of those are gods of breath and wind. Shu, Enlil, Keohiva. It reinforces that clearing breeze we talked about earlier.
And then the herbs are moringa, neem, and rosemary, with oils of sandalwood, rose, and bergamot. These are classic, deeply soothing, heart-opening scents.
It creates a rich tapestry. Whether you find yourself drawn to the structured discipline of Saturn, the expansive wisdom of Thoth, or the compassionate calm of Venus, the text suggests this stone serves as a versatile anchor.
It meets you where you are.
Precisely. It doesn't force you into a rigid dogma. It provides a stable, energetic foundation for whatever framework helps you make sense of the world.
Let's bring this down to a practical level for you listening. How can you actually use all of this on a random Tuesday? The source outlines methods that don't require you to be a master of esoteric rituals. You can simply keep it as a pocket stone, using it as a physical touchstone when you feel your stress rising. You can wear it as jewelry or place it in your workspace.
Having it on a desk is highly recommended in the text to reduce environmental stress. Every time you look at those physical bands, it acts as a psychological cue to take a breath and tackle your tasks one layer at a time, rather than becoming overwhelmed by the entirety of your to-do list.
The text also mentions keeping it near your bed for restful energy to support emotional integration during sleep. But it also dives into more intentional practices, mentioning journaling and crystal grids. For someone who hasn't encountered that term before, what is a crystal grid?
Think of a crystal grid as an energetic circuit board.
Okay.
Instead of just setting one stone on a shelf, you arrange multiple stones in a specific geometric pattern. The idea is that the stones work together to maintain a constant amplified hum of specific energy in a room over a long period of time.
So it's continuous.
Exactly. By including the white banded opal in a grid, you are essentially setting the thermostat of that room to unhurried, gentle integration.
This raises an important question for you to consider. How might your own daily routines change if you intentionally infuse them with this specific energy? Especially during major life transitions, a new job, a move, a shift in a relationship. Having a tool that actively reminds you to slow down and process things piece by piece could fundamentally change how you experience that stress.
So much of our anxiety comes from the demand to have everything figured out immediately. The white-banded opal offers permission to not know the whole picture right away. It invites you to just understand the layer you are currently on.
So what does this all mean? When we pull all these incredible details from Crystals by Rob together, the white-banded opal emerges as the ultimate tool for gentle clarity. It completely rejects the modern pressure for immediate transformation. Instead, it advocates for a sustainable integration of emotional, energetic, and spiritual wisdom.
It's remarkably grounded.
It really is. It clears your personal energetic atmosphere, aligns your centers of insight and compassion, and connects you to a vast cross-cultural web of wisdom, all while reminding you to just take it one layer at a time.
It serves as a profound metaphor for the human experience. And I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over, building on a brief mention in the text about using the stone for shadow work.
Right, shadow work.
For those unfamiliar, shadow work is the psychological and spiritual process of exploring the hidden, sometimes darker or more difficult parts of ourselves that we usually shove into the closet, our fears, our deeply ingrained flaws, our hidden biases.
It's the stuff we usually want to fix as fast as humanly possible so we don't have to look at it anymore.
Exactly, we just want it gone. But if the white-banded opal teaches us that true healing and understanding must be integrated slowly, layer by translucent layer, how might your life change if you stop trying to instantly fix your deepest flaws? What if, instead, you approached the darkest, most hidden parts of your own psyche with the exact same unhurried, gentle patience of the white-banded opal?
What a powerful perspective to take into the rest of your week. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the world of the white-banded opal. We hope you found some insight, some clarity, and perhaps a reminder to give yourself the grace of steady layered growth. Stay curious, embrace your own pace, and we will catch you on the next deep dive.